Hello and welcome back to Invincible Asia. I'm George Clark and this is another episode of Show and Tell where today I'm going to share with you my Jet Li collection. Don't forget folks, before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, like the video and all that jibber jabber, and thank you very much for supporting Invincible Asia. So given the amount of Jet Li movies we've had released recently through, say, Eureka Video and Idiot Films, for example, I just thought it was a good time to perhaps pull everything I had Jet Li off the shelf and put it out for you to share with you before I pack this studio up and move on. Now that of course is going to start with the VHS collection at the back here, moving into the DVDs as we normally do, and then there's Blu-rays as well, which there isn't as many. Don't forget Jet Li doesn't have as large a filmography as say Jackie Chan or Sammo Hung with that, or even Cynthia Rothrock to some degree, but I feel there's still enough here to enjoy and share with you without making it last for days. And I've also hooked out some magazines along the back here, as you can see. Some Inside Kung Fu, Hong Kong Film Connection, Eastern Heroes, and so on. Even a bit of a rare piece there at the end with the Shaolin Temple booklet. So anyway, let's get started and talk about Jet Li. So welcome back. It's been some time since I've shared a particular actor's collection with you, and I just thought, as I say, with the kind of new sort of releases of Jet Li movies there, I thought it'd be a good time to get this out and really go through it with you. Not as many as I'd really hoped for, although now I'm looking at the DVD pile all stacked together there. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe there are more than I actually thought. So we're going to start with the VHS, and pretty much Jet Li movies were only released through in terms of a sale point of view, not so much an X rental. I only have one X rental of a Jet Li movie here, but throughout the likes of Virgin Megastores and HMB and others that you would buy them from, there was only 3 labels really putting out Jet Li movies, and that was of course Made in Hong Kong, Eastern Heroes and Hong Kong Classics. Now there's many of those titles of Jet Li's that were released that I don't have yet. I'm still on that nostalgic greed project of trying to build that collection up again. But yes, let me start with the only X rental I have, and I only just picked this up off eBay. It's not even one that I got as a teenager. That is the Black Mask VHS release there, 83 minutes in length. I mean, I remember this video coming out. I already had my hands on a Hong Kong DVD, which I've since gotten rid of, believe it or not, very foolishly. But I never was interested in the English dub or the American release as such. So this is kind of like the genuine English dub first release of Black Mask. So I will pop it in the player someday and take a look at it, but that was pretty much the only thing. I just noticed a slogan there from Impact Movie Magazine, my favorite movie magazine ever. Without a doubt the best action movie to come out of Hong Kong in the last decade. It'd be good to know who wrote that from Impact, and if they still believe that is the case today. I love Black Mask. I think it's a fantastic movie. Real wonderful sort of live action comic book. Is it the best movie to have come out in the 90s there? No, it's certainly not. Anyway, I'll put that to the side and then I'll get into my favorite Hong Kong movie label, UK based of course, of the 90s, and that was Made in Hong Kong, because you just could not beat a Made in Hong Kong release. It was the excitement of getting the bus into town, the excitement of going to, as I say, Virgin Megastore or HMB to see what was out, see what was new on the shelf. We didn't have the internet to tell us what was coming. We were just hoping that something would be out that next weekend when we went into town. I was only a young teen, didn't have much money, but when I could afford to, I would be picking up either Made in Hong Kong or an Eastern Heroes release, if not a manga entertainment one. The first one there is Fist of Legend. Now these are in no particular order because I haven't really worked that part out yet. This is number 45 though of the Made in Hong Kong collection. You can see they numbered them down here. And as with Eastern Heroes, this was a nice wee setup actually. Inside you would get all the liner notes there of all the stars of the movie, of coming attractions, which was even better because that was so exciting. I do remember always buying them, getting onto the bus, ripping that plastic open, and just reading everything on the journey home. It was like a half-an-hour bus trip home, and I would just sit and read it again and look at these titles that were coming out and really get so excited to head back into town the next week and do it all again if I could raise the funds. I always just had to get $12.99. That was, was pretty much it. And if I could do that, I was super happy. Oh, but Fist of Legend. Oh my god, this is so far away. I'm gonna have to cut this. But Fist of Legend was a genuine surprise and classic. I had never seen it before until they released it, and it blew me away. It still blows me away, and I really hope that Idiot or Eureka pick it up pretty soon and put it out there on Blu-ray. What else we got here? I may as well get this one going because Last Hero in China just came out on Blu-ray from Idiot Films. I'm going to share that with you, of course, later in this video. But this was the first time that I had ever seen Last Hero in China. That video, wow, I mean, it really takes me back. This was so exciting. Such a cool design, such a cool video, or sorry, cool film all together. But I love this. Again, could not wait to watch it. And just, oh my god, I remember rushing home, being so excited. Once Upon a Time in China, of course. And now let me see, Last Hero in China was the 38th release of the Made in Hong Kong, whereas Once Upon a Time in China, his first film is Wong Fei-hung, and the movie that really kind of made him a household name was number 59. So this came out quite like 20 releases after this. How crazy is that? Once Upon a Time in China, look at that. Though this, again, was a treasured video for me. Fully restored, original version. Wow. My god, it was so exciting. Like, I'd never seen these movies before, never had the chance to. I know certain movies had gotten released in the UK, but in Northern Ireland there seemed to be quite a lack of Hong Kong movies. Now, I've bought most of them from video stores as ex-rentals, but there seemed to be quite a lack of blockbuster Hong Kong movies. Not so much the sort of cheapy Taiwanese or kung fu classics from the 70s and early 80s, but when it started coming into more of these types of films, there was a severe lack as rentals in big boxes. But thankfully to these guys, they started coming out very, very quickly. Too quick that I could keep up financially and buy them all. And then of course the next one to follow that, because that was number 59, this was number 60 on their list. And that is Once Upon a Time in China 2, which is even, for me, I think even better. I think this is just a phenomenal, phenomenal movie. Donnie Yen is amazing as the bad guy. The action is ramped up. This is the one. Like, I do think this is definitely, this and Last Hero in China, sorry, I think are probably his two best films as Wong Fei-hung. But this was brilliant. Again, loved it. Absolutely loved it. I did not pick up, mind you, Once Upon a Time in China 3 on the Made in Hong Kong label. I'm still trying to find that online. If you can help me complete my collection, please, by all means, if you have that videotape and you don't want it anymore, or you want to get rid of it for the right price, please let me know, because I do want to complete that. Then we have the Eastern Heroes and Hong Kong Classics release. Now I'll get the Hong Kong Classics one out of the way first, which is Born to Defend. Now I don't know what it was about rights, copyright and all that back in the day there. This was released in 1997, but there was a lot of movies that would have jumped from each label. Like every kind of couple of years, you'd see Hong Kong Classics release some titles that may have already been on the Made in Hong Kong label or Eastern Heroes label, and vice versa. There would be a whole mix-up, which was fine. I just didn't have the money, as I say, to keep up. But Born to Defend was a video that I did manage to grab. His directorial debut, I like it. I don't mind Born to Defend at all. I think if it gets a restoration and released by probably 88 Films, I would say, would go down this road. I think it would be exciting to see it again restored. I think it's an important film by all means for Jet Li and for his fans, but it's not terrible. It really isn't terrible. There's a lot to enjoy here. And don't forget, he was still quite young when he started this. Hong Kong Classics, so sorry, maybe I said Hong Kong Legends again. Hong Kong Classics didn't put a print in there, but I do feel that they were one of the more exciting VHS distributors of the day, because they just released the most incredible and random titles. I'm trying to go through them all in my head, but there's so many. But they definitely introduced me to a wider range of Hong Kong cinema. Okay, so Eastern Heroes. Then we have got Shaolin Art of War, which again, it's not one that I've went back to time and time again. It's more of a documentary starring Jet Li with 2 E's, plus Untold Monks and the Real Abbot of Shaolin, who gets interviewed there. It's not a terrible doco from what I can remember, but I've just never went back to it. It's just not one that I've ever felt the need to rush back to. Again, I will someday. I'll pop it back in the video player. I do think, though, I might have it on a DVD as a bonus feature, maybe. But again, it's just nice to have. Let me see, 1998 released. Obviously, they were running out of films there. But still great to have, and a nice little extra. I know, as I said before, there's other Jet Li movies that they would have put out there on both Eastern Heroes and Hong Kong Classics, which, if I'm not sharing with you now, don't have, still want, get in touch. Okay, the first Shaolin Temple movie here, which you can see is kind of like one of their, well, not their earlier ones, number 49 in their wide range of releases, and they released a lot more. I would say Eastern Heroes kind of went all out and blasted out titles time and time again. There's so many I missed, and I'm raging that I did, because they've never seen the light of day ever since. But I did enjoy this. I have to say, this is an absolute favorite of mine. Shaolin Temple is a gem of a movie, as is part 2, Kids from Shaolin. Now, they did the whole 3 of them. I didn't ever pick up the 3rd video, so please, again, if you have Shaolin Temple 3 on VHS, I am looking for it. But I think this was a fantastic movie, a lot of fun. I really like movies that allow Jet Li to smile, to enjoy himself. There's not, well, there is a number of them, but there's not too many that really allow him to just have fun. He always seems to play quite stern characters. But still, that both of those movies were fantastic, and he's very cute in them. He's very handsome. He moves amazingly. There's no wires needed. Then we have Dr. Y and the Scripture with No Words. Of course, just seeing a remaster there by Eureka Video, which was astounding. And it came, the Blu-ray I'll share with you, of course, came with 2 versions of the movie. This is the director's cut. Contains different footage to the international version. They probably expected everyone to have seen the international version. I didn't even know that an international version had come out on video. But Eastern Heroes popped this out in 1997, and I was glad that they did, because this was just a fun watch from Ching Soo-dong, and stars the gorgeous Takeshi Kaneshiro also in there. And then we have got the second Eastern Heroes video magazine here. I really enjoyed what they were doing with this. I thought it was a great idea. I I managed to pick up some issues of Eastern Heroes. I never signed up to any fan clubs or subscriptions or anything like that. I managed to get some issues along the way through the likes of, say, Forbidden Planet or other comic stores that I may have shopped in. But when Eastern Heroes started doing the video magazines, I really liked where they were going, because they give some independent filmmakers the chance to show their stuff here. They had some random interviews with people, lots of clips from different movies, which was really exciting when you didn't have access to the internet, for example. And then they always put a bonus movie on at the end. This one, it was Kung Fu the Head Crusher, but there is a Jet Li interview on here, which is why I'm sharing it with you, and so much more, of course. Anyway, that's all the videos I have of Jet Li. Time for the DVDs. Okay, so with the DVDs, I've kind of separated them somewhat into their American pile and their Hong Kong pile, with a few extra wee bits here in the middle. So I'm going to get those out of the way first of all. And that would be the documentaries. We have from Eastern Heroes, we have got Top Fighter, as you can see. A very, very popular Hong Kong movie documentary, which is hugely enjoyable, of course. But Jet Li does appear in there, which is wonderful. There's different clips from certain movies, which I really, really loved. And then there's Cinema of Vengeance. Now, Jet doesn't appear on this cover, or isn't named. You have Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Chow Yun-fat, Van Damme, Sammo Hung, John Woo, and many more. But there's not a sign of him anywhere to be seen. And it's been, I'm going to be honest, it's been some time since I last watched this. So I'm kind of thinking and guessing that he is in there. They could not make that and not put him in there. And then you have the Hong Kong Legends documentary, Hero Makers, which I remember enjoying quite a bit. There's a great documentary on here, but then there's about 32 trailers, which a lot of them obviously involve Jet Li there with the Once Upon a Time in China series, Hitman, and others. So yeah, those are just kind of like the three doco DVDs that I just wanted to get out of the way before I get stuck into anything else. The other extra wee part here was Shaolin Temple 3, Martial Arts of Shaolin. This cover is stunning. This comes as a pack 4 from the Dragon Dynasty collection here, as you can see. Executioners from Shaolin, Mad Monkey Kung Fu, 5 Shaolin Masters, and Jet Li's Martial Arts of Shaolin, also released everywhere as Shaolin Temple 3. Directed by Lau Gar-leung. I don't think it's Lau Gar-leung's best film. In fact, I find this movie to be kind of boring, if I'm being perfectly honest. There's a few fun fight scenes there, but it's not a really good movie. But regardless, I find this when I was out traveling in America. They come in obviously the very thin DVD sleeves. But what I did love about them was their cover designs. I didn't get a lot of Dragon Dynasty movies, I have to say. But what they did release here and these designs caught my attention. That's why I wanted to pick it up, because of all the movies. Martial Arts of Shaolin just happened to be on it. But of course, it gets an amazing upgrade in Shawscope Volume 2, which I will get to with you later in this video. But even with that restoration and that upgrade, it still didn't impress me as much as it really should have, let's be honest. Okay, these aren't so much American movies, as you can see, but they are the American releases of Jet Li movies. High Risk, Bodyguard from Beijing, Legend of the Red Dragon, My Father the Hero, what else we got there? Feng Sai Yuk 1 and 2. All given generic American movie names such as Meltdown, The Defender, Legend of the Red Dragon, The Legend, and The Enforcer. Yeah, I tried to avoid these as much as I possibly could. But when I managed a video DVD store for a few years, these were certain titles that I put out as rentals, and I thought I may as well just grab them for the collection. I tried watching them. They did my head in. They were very annoying. They're not terrible by any means, but I just am a fan of the real thing. I want the Cantonese language with subtitles. I want it to be the director's cut. I want it to be what was meant to be seen, not the cut redubbed, rescored, retitled American versions, which kind of tear things down. It was okay when I was young. I loved the videos of I loved the Kung Fu classics that were dubbed, the Jackie Chan classics that were dubbed. I loved all those. There's a special nostalgic thing with that. But I don't know, as you get older, oh, I've left one of my video store stickers on there. Just as you get older and you realize that things just don't seem right. Plus, I also find that as we've went on in years, that the dubbing, it just doesn't have the same kind of heart in it. I really enjoyed the dubs of the 70s and 80s because they kind of had a bit of oomph. They had a fun. They had a bit of heart. I think that is just it. They had a bit of heart. Whereas these later dubs, really, now I say later, these still came out, I think around 2000, around that time. So I keep forgetting that 20 odd years has passed. It's just kind of vanished. I really don't remember that time so much. But Dimension did a lot of hack jobs on a lot of Hong Kong movies, which was unfortunate, which was really unfortunate. You know, they didn't really respect them as much as they were letting on. Which annoyed me to no end. I'll save the rest of the Hollywood stuff for later because obviously I want to get through more of the Hong Kong stuff here to really share with you what made me fall in love with Jet Li more so. Let me get rid of two first of all though, which are from Germany. One of which is the German release of My Father is a Hero, released here as Jet Li is the Hero. It does say it comes with the Hong Kong cut, but it doesn't. It's quite a number of minutes shorter. It does have deleted scenes on there, but it's still it's a very, very good picture. I have got the Hong Kong disc somewhere here of My Father is a Hero, which is quite loose as you can hear. So I always did have the uncut Hong Kong version. Jesus, they're nearly off the table again. Recently restored, immaculately restored by Eureka Video and released on Blu-ray as part of the Heroes and Villains Jet Li collection, which I highly recommend. Please go back and check out my unboxing video and retrospectives for this movie and that release. But yeah, I always had this. I loved it. I just wanted an upgrade. So last year I picked up this German DVD. It does look better. It's just a little shorter, and it was fine. You know what? I can't complain. I have now got 4 versions, including the Enforcer and that new Blu-ray. 4 versions of My Father is a Hero. There we go. Then this one I really want to do, and I highly recommend it because I don't think we're going to ever see it released on Blu-ray. My fingers are constantly crossed for it, but I don't think we will. The Defector, Jet Li the Defector, which is actually Dragon Fight. That kind of long lost in the Warner Vaults Jet Li movie with Stephen Chow Sing Chi, Dick Wei, Nina Lee Chi, who of course he went on to marry, and a host of other people there. But this is directed by Billy Tang, the infamous Billy Tang. And although it's not a violent Cat 3 movie as such, it's still a very enjoyable piece. There's a lot to love here. It's a fantastic movie. In fact, I'm kind of excited myself for it, and I might go and watch it after I finish this video. But this was a great setup. Comes with Cantonese language options, German and English language options, also with German optional, German or English subtitles. And then you've got a bonus film on there, Jet Li, The Kung Fu Years. But I do remember seeing that. And again, just to get that on there as a bonus was wonderful. So there's quite a lot to love here. And I did pick it up for very cheap. But The Defector from Germany, do yourself a favor and grab your copy. Let me just slide that over there. Okay, let's see. Let's get the biggies out of the way here because I'm kind of sick of looking at them. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Once Upon a Time in China. 1, 2, 3, and 6. Once Upon a Time in China and America. Also, the Hong Kong Legends magazine version, which was very blandly designed. As you can see, wasn't ever too keen on the Hong Kong Legends designs, if I'm being honest. But this came with a magazine that told you all about the movie, how the movie was made, etc, 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 which was pretty cool. But before that, Hong Kong Legends had released their own trilogy here, which were beautifully packaged. Came with a ton of extras, which I don't think comes on the magazine disc, but these were absolutely well worth picking up because I love the videos from Made in Hong Kong. I could not wait for the upgrades for these digital restorations. Of course, now we've had stunning Blu-rays released from Eureka Video and from Criterion, which we're going to get to. But yeah, this was also the first time that I had seen Part 3, which I quite enjoyed. I think it's a very underrated movie, to be honest. But I was kind of angry that they didn't release Parts 4 and 5 with Vincent Xiao or Chu Man-chuk or whatever you want to call him. They didn't release it, and they didn't do 4 and 5, which I was raging for because it took me, it's 30 years to see them on Criterion's Blu-ray release, for fuck's sake. But then Hong Kong Classics released Once Upon a Time in China and America on video first, then on DVD. I don't think I had the video because I was searching for it there, or I had it and the video player chewed it up and spat it out. But I did always enjoy this DVD release. I really loved actually a lot of the Hong Kong Classics DVD releases because they would often release two versions, or you would have the Cantonese widescreen version with English subtitles, and then you would have a full screen English dub version which was cut usually. But this one here also had a 30-minute making of featurette, a couple of trailers on there, the two versions, Legend of Wong Fei Hung, exclusive behind the scenes gallery, official production stills gallery. So it was a pretty packed release. Not the most amazing of films, I have to say, directed by Sammo Hung, but still didn't blow me away. Not until I kind of watched it again on the Blu-rays did I enjoy it a bit more, but I just kind of felt that it was somewhat of a letdown. Anyway, that's out of the way. These amazing films are out of the way. We will get back to them with the Blu-rays, of course. Let's see, I'm not going to do these in any particular order because they're about to fall over. Finding of a Republic. Yeah, cheap-ass UK release. Trying to trick people into thinking that Jackie, Jet and Donnie were starring together here in this wonderful action movie. No, it's not. The Warlords, which is a 2-disc edition here. This is an incredible, incredible movie. Again, a movie that I've not watched for some time. Ching Soo-dong does the direct action choreography. Peter Ho-sun Chan. Yeah, Peter Chan does the direction. This was epic. Andy Lau, Takeshi Kaneshiro, and Jet Li here. A kick-ass, brutal Jet Li, I must say. We have High Risk, of course, as I say, from Dimension, retitled as Meltdown. Then they went on to release Black Sheep Affair with Chu Man-chuk or Vincent Xiao as Meltdown 2. No connection whatsoever, which confused a lot of people and made them angry. Of course it did. So I did manage to pick it up on eBay. This Korean release, which came in its Chinese language and optional English subtitles, and this gave me that uncut version back again, which I was very, very happy for. Nothing too special about it, but I really just wanted to see that. I love how they've pasted on, though, a shot of Jet Li from Lethal Weapon 4. Cracks me up, but not bad quality at all. And again, until somebody releases that on Blu-ray, that is what I have to go back to. That is the best thing I have got. I totally missed the Hong Kong Classics video release of Jet Li's The Master, aka Wong Fei Hung 1992. So whenever Hong Kong Legends here released it on DVD, I was very, very excited. It again, not a perfect movie, but there's still something quite charming about it. This and Dragon Fight, if they had done them together as a double pack, it would have been just perfect. But I really, really liked it. And again, of course, it gets an upgrade from 88 Films on Blu-ray, which we'll go back to. But this I always liked. There was a really nice style about this particular Hong Kong Legends release. I'm not too sure, maybe I've talked about this before, but was Hong Kong Legends the same guys, sorry, from Hong Kong Legends, were they the ones that started Cine Asia, or did they just kind of vanish and totally ignore the fact that they liked Hong Kong movies and allow Cine Asia to take over the reins? Because Hong Kong Legends kind of like really sort of slowed down and stopped, and suddenly Cine Asia appeared, which I'm more than happy with because they have done an amazing job also and are still going pretty strong. But this was a great upgrade. It absolutely just needs a Blu-ray release. Please, Idiot Films or Eureka, get it out there. Okay, Last Hero in China. I did show you the VHS, of course, and then I remembered about this cheap UK release, which I quite enjoyed, released in the letterbox version, Cantonese language with English subtitles, which was wonderful. When I picked it up, I think for £1 or so, it was like very cheap. I thought it was going to be an English dub, and it wasn't. Of course, since I went on to get the Nova Media Blu-ray release, and then this week their Idiot Films have just released their own Blu-ray version of it. Then we have a very underrated Jet Li movie, again from director Ching Siu-tung, The Emperor and the White Snake, or The Sorcerer and the White Snake, depending on what country you're in. But this, I remember buying this when I started dating my husband, who's now husband, and showed him this. This was like his first kung fu movie, and he loved it. He was blown away, and actually so was I, because the visuals in it are incredible. The action in it is, of course, it's amazing. It's Ching Siu-tung, for God's sake. But there was so much to love in this movie, and I just don't know why it got badgered, why people hated it, why they just didn't rate it as high as it should have been. The early Eastern Heroes DVD, look at that case, it's hideous. I mean, it's disgusting. This early DVD release from Eastern Heroes of Dr. Y and the Scripture with No Words includes extra scenes from the international version, Jet Li biography and cast and crew. Very cheap, released in 1999, just kind of on the cusp of the change over there. They were still pumping out videos, but DVDs were creeping in. There really wasn't a lot to love with Eastern Heroes DVD releases, I don't find. But Hong Kong Legends kind of really took over there and made things quite different. This gorgeous, stunning movie, Hero, this is just mind-blowing. I mean, one of the most incredible movies I have ever seen. But this, I got off eBay. It was a Chinese import or a Hong Kong import, and wow. I mean, it just was fucking incredible. Such a beautiful movie. And it did come with 2 DVDs, I do believe. Yep. So 2 DVDs here, 2 discs, and a host of extras. Took me a few times to watch it to really kind of figure out what was going on, but I was so engaged in the visuals and the stunning, beautiful action that I kind of just got lost myself. But this also comes with behind the scenes, info on characters, cast and crew, drafts of costumes, weapons, settings, storyboards, the journey to Hero, the making of Hero, no good shots and behind the scenes, theatrical trailers, TV spots, photos and merchandise. Then I find this for £1, because the birth of Hero, the making of Hero, and it's pretty much a 2.5 hour making of documentary on Hero. So it kind of takes some of the extra features from here and combines them into this mega documentary, which is just phenomenal. But finding this for £1 was an absolute gem and such a bonus there to have. So that's a nice accompanying piece. Hopefully this will see a 4K restoration soon enough. I talked about Hitman because it just got its restoration release from Eureka Video as part of that Heroes and Villains pack, along with Dr. Y and My Father is a Hero. And I enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than I did with this early Hong Kong Legends release. It was never a movie I took to. I didn't feel there was anything special about it until the Blu-ray release. You can go and check my review out on the website for it at invincibleasia.com. But this came out with Drive, and both of these were the first 2 DVDs that I ever owned. My best friend bought me them for Christmas. I remember being in the store, like a Woolworths or something like that, or a Tesco at the DVD aisle, and I was so excited that these 2 movies had come out, and he bought me them. They were quite pricey, if I remember correctly, kind of around whew, 18, 20, 21 pounds each. Shocking. But I didn't even have a DVD player, so he bought me them, and it probably took me another few weeks before I could get my hands on a DVD player to go and enjoy them. So my first Hong Kong Legends DVD. Then we've got Fong Sai Yuk. I don't have the second one on DVD. I thought I did. I'm nearly sure I did, unless it's in my basket on my eBay. But this is the original Universe Hong Kong DVD release of what is now known as The Legend Fong Sai Yuk, or The Legend of Fong Sai Yuk, or Fong Sai Yuk The Legend, or Jet Li is the Legend. So many titles, so many versions, but this is one of the original releases, and I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Again, both of them I had on a bootleg video way back in the day, in the mid-90s. Wore that out completely. I mean, God knows what generation of movie I was watching, because it was never great quality anyway. But to be able to kind of get some sort of upgrade on the DVD always pleased me. I mean, this is not perfect by any means. The early Universe DVD releases were never great in terms of their ratio and their color grading and things like that. We're being so spoiled today, of course, with these restorations from the Blu-rays and the 4Ks. They look incredible. But I do hope that I get part 2 from this, just to add to that and just kind of build up the collection. The Flying Swords of Dragon Gate. It's not a movie that I really loved. I'm going to be honest. This kind of like didn't work for me. Maybe I was totally missing something. Maybe I should have watched it in 3D, because it was made with the 3D audience in mind, with everyone to go and see this in 3D. I totally get that. I'm not ruling it out because I didn't get the chance to do that. I just felt that it was missing something. I'm a huge fan of New Dragon Gate Inn from Choi Hark. Absolutely. And that was a movie that Jet Li was initially supposed to star in. So for him to come back and do this was wonderful. And in some respects, it is a remake, sequel of sorts. But I don't know. Maybe I need to go back to it. Maybe I need to check it out again. Okay, I love these movies so much. And why they haven't already released the Swordsman trilogy through Eureka or Idia Films is beyond me. We still aren't getting enough Jet Li, let's be honest. Swordsman 2 and 3. Here released on the Korean DVD as Swordsman 1 and 2. Of course it's not. Swordsman 1 is with Sam Hoy and Yuen Hua. Very, very different movie altogether. Swordsman 2 and 3 from Ching Soo-dong and Choi Hark. The East is Red, Part 3. I did have the 2 DVDs from Optimum Asia. They were amazing. They were beautiful, in fact, and I sold them off. I had to convince my husband that I was selling duplicate titles so that I could raise money to buy more DVDs, you know, because it was getting a wee bit out of hand. So unfortunately I had to get rid of those 2, but I only get rid of them after I picked up this off eBay. And this is a Korean release, special edition, with both Swordsman movies there, 2 and 3, and the quality was exactly the same as the Optimum Asia ones. That's why I got rid of those, but also this comes in like a special collector's edition, which was nice. And then this is the May Hong Kong DVD release of that. The quality of it it's not great, believe me. That's much better. The Korean version is much better than the May one. One of my all-time favorite Jet Li movies, the Tai Chi Master. Jet Li, Michelle Yeoh, Chin Soo-ho, the man that should have been Keen. This is an incredible movie all round. I just friggin' love this so much. This is from Dragon Dynasty, and this is an American release. I know that because the stupid fucking DVD covers. I mean, what is with these little clips? Anyway, not complaining. Glad that I picked it up on DVD. Again, a movie that I only ever had on video, and it was chewed up and again spat out. But there was a lot to enjoy on this here. Some great extra features there. I did pick it up when I was out at a film festival with one of my movies in Orlando. I remember going to Walmart and grabbing it along with that box set I showed you earlier with the 4 movies. Still love that movie. Really, really, really hoping that Eureka put their hands on this very, very soon. Hong Kong Classics then put out Born to Defend on DVD, which I really wanted to upgrade. And this comes with a bonus 60-minute Jet Li featurette. It doesn't state here what one it is. And again, this is where I'm thinking I've seen Shaolin Art of War that I showed you on video, that maybe this was added to this. I wanted to share with you Badges of Fury. A lot of hate for this movie. I mean, what the hell, people? This is hilarious. My husband, God love him, managed to find this on Yes Asia and get me it for Christmas, amongst many other movies one year, because it's hard to come out to this studio where there's 4,000 kung fu movies and really figure out what I don't have, you know. There's a few duplicates, but I think he did pretty well. And this had just come out as a new release. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I've watched it numerously. I did pick up a Blu-ray, the UK Blu-ray release, which is cut. There's so many popular faces pop up throughout this. Yes, there's certain moments that are kind of cacky, but this is like first or second time filmmakers here. I think they did a pretty damn good job. Wu Jing's in there, of course. Totally forgot about him. There's a lot to love here. The fights are fun. I think the problem was it was being sold in the UK as a hard-ass action movie, which they shouldn't have done. This is as wacky as it gets. This is totally a live-action comic book. Shouldn't be taken as seriously. I love it. Give it another go. Then I got Fearless. It is incredible. I mean, without a doubt, one of Jet Li's finest movies, directed by the incredible Ronnie Yu. I watched this film religiously, and no, not just to see Mike Leader with hair, but there's just something perfect about this movie. Fucking amazing movie. Then I found out that there was a director's cut that lasted for so much longer. Featured, I think it was Mark Dacascos. Again, it's some time since I watched this. Extra fight scenes, Michelle Yeoh, and I was like, I need this so bad. Straight on to Yes Asia. Picked it up, and now I can enjoy both versions. Now, I don't go back to this one, I have to admit. I always watch the director's cut. So this runs for 104 minutes. Whereas this one, the director's cut, runs for 141 minutes. I have never picked up the Western release. I really don't want to. There's some nice artwork with it, but I really don't want to. The director's cut for me is fantastic. 40 extra minutes. Let that sink in. Quickly, Mummy 3, picked it up for 50p or a pound in Poundland. That's why the replay sticker's on there. I did enjoy it. A lot of fun to be had. You know, there's some great stories from Mike Leader about his time on set. But I've yet to get stuck into it in this particular version, although I did go to see it in the cinema, and I have seen it since. Kiss of the Dragon, one of my all-time favourite Jet Li US movies. This is fucking phenomenal and absolutely needs a Blu-ray upgrade. I haven't got round to that part yet, but I will. But I just love what he does in this. Oh my God. This is such a great movie. In fact, oh shit, I'm really excited myself. I don't know, I was really going to watch Dragon Fight tonight, but I don't know, I might go back to Kiss of the Dragon. Equally, I love this. Unleashed, Danny the dog, blows me away every time. Fantastic. And we also get the added bonus of Scott Adkins in there. This is an incredible movie. Both of those, two of my favourite Jet Li Hollywood movies. Yes. Lethal Weapon 4. I'm really speeding things up here because I know the battery's gone down. I can hear the cat crying at the door. What a pain in the arse. Lethal Weapon 4. Haven't watched it since I saw it on the big screen in America on its release. Great fun. Very racist. Very racist. How they got away with it, I don't know. But Jet Li was phenomenal. And of course, it absolutely opened the doors for him on many, many levels there. It took him down a whole new road where he would then go on to make Romeo Must Die. Yeah. I went to the cinema to see this, like, I would say 2 or 3 times. I lived close in Toronto to a cheap cinema. And of course, it was great to see Jet Li on the big screen. I had never seen many Jet Li movies on the big screen at this point. When you're a certain age, it's fun. But when you look back at it now, you just have to question, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, it's really some of the worst fight scenes of Jet Li's career. I'll get back to it. I'll review it for the site because it deserves it. Then Cradle to the Grave. Mark Dacascos again with Jet Li. And then some. Quite underrated. Probably forgotten. but a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that one. The Jet Li and Mel Gibson produced Invincible. This was kind of like the pilot for a TV show that they were concocting. It never really took off, but this was still quite an enjoyable piece. Tony Ching Sudong did the action scenes, kind of for me, apart from Billy Zane and Byron Mann. A relatively unknown cast, shot in Australia, but again, picking it up in Poundland for a quid. I will get back to it again. I will review it for the site. War. I think I reviewed this on the site already. It should have been so much more. I mean, you've Jet Li and Jason Statham, the Expendables buddies there, knocking heads, kicking ass. It should have been so much more. But there's something that just falls flat when you're watching War. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, but it just doesn't work. He also did The One, which is phenomenal. Of course, there is an upgraded Blu-ray release from 88 Films, which is totally worth checking out, but I thoroughly loved this movie. In fact, I would have liked to have seen it delve a bit more into the many characters that Jet Li played, because we get to see him play a host of characters. Such a great role for him, or roles for him. Again, with Jason Statham here, much younger Jason Statham, but a lot of fun to be had with this one. I think this is a fantastic and very underrated sci-fi action movie, and definitely one of Jet Li's better Hollywood pieces for sure. The Expendables 1, 2 and 3. I only have 1 and 3 on DVD. Loved part 1. Absolutely loved it. Part 2 I loved even more, but I have it on Blu-ray, so that's why there's not a part 2 DVD. I got that as a present. And The Expendables 3 I thought was pretty shite. I have went back to it since. Did I enjoy it any more? Not particularly, but it still wasn't the worst movie in the world. Then there on DVD, the last DVD I have for you is The Forbidden Kingdom. For me, one of Jackie Chan and Jet Li's finest outings in Hollywood. Overall, I think it's a highly underrated movie. Colin Choi is amazing in there. There's so much to love. I mean, this was my dream as a teenager to have this kind of adventure. That's what's great about it. I feel that people have brushed it off too quickly. There's some incredible action from Yuen Woo-ping. The visuals are stunning. Yeah, for me, this is one that I would go back to quite often, and one that I feel needs a wee bit more love from both Jackie and Jet Li fans, because it is totally well worth it. Okay, so Blu-rays, I don't have as many of, thankfully, of the Jet Li's. I would love them, but for your sake, in pushing this video out as long as it possibly could, I don't have too many to get through with you here, which I'm sure you're glad to hear. Before I get into the boutique labels though, I will go through the generic releases. I did talk about having the Flying Swords of Dragon Gate with the 3D version upgraded to Blu-ray, and there it is. Again, something I should go back to. I would like to attempt the 3D version, so I'm going to speak to a few friends who may possibly have a 3D television and player and give me that chance to experience that. I think it's worth it. If you know, that's the work Choi Hark's going to put in there, then why not? The Expendables 2, of course, I talked about having on Blu-ray, and there it is. Such a fantastic film. A lot to enjoy there, really. I think probably the best of the trilogy so far. I know part 4 is on the way, or maybe out by the time you're watching this, but I had a lot of fun with it. Of course, then the upgrade of The Forbidden Kingdom, one of my favourite Jackie Chan and Jet Li Hollywood movies. As I've said, there's a lot to love here. I don't know why it has been kind of shunned by a lot of Jackie and Jet fans. There's no reason. This is pure entertainment, and that is exactly what it is, which is why I upgraded that to a high definition disc. Badges of Fury, this is the signature UK release, cut by a few minutes or so, maybe more, but again, presented as a hardcore action movie, which is of course going to disappoint people when they pick it up and realize that this is just real life, sort of live action cartoon. That's the best way to describe Badges of Fury. A live action cartoon. Anything goes, everything does go, and I think it's hilarious. I think it's a really a really entertaining piece. And again, good to see Jet Li having a bit of fun and kind of mocking his role as Wong Fei-hung, who he is in this movie. Disney's release of Mulan, I had to pick up because it's not a terrible movie. It certainly was not as great as I'd hoped it would be. Some changes throughout there, but a wonderful cast, including Jet Li and Donnie Yen, of course. Not only that, you've got Jason Scott Lee, Gong Li, Liu Yifei plays Mulan. But again, yeah, it could have been something else. They kind of chose to go down a totally different road with it. Jet Li didn't even get to fight as far as I can remember. I need to watch it again. It's been a couple of years. But it was still quite a beautiful movie and had its moments. And then I picked this up when I was out in San Francisco. I will do a genuine unboxing of this set because I've yet to get stuck into it. But this is the American Blu-ray release, although it's multi-region as I see now, of The Legend of Feng Sayuk 1 and 2. I think it may pretty much just be everything that was on the Dragon Dynasty releases kind of carried over there. Part 1 comes with a host of extras, whereas Part 2 only comes with the theatrical trailer. But Part 2 has often been kind of just ignored. I feel it's some amazing action sequences throughout that, and they are two of my favourite Jet Li movies, so I will get into that with you and share a video soon. But I wanted to save this one from the generic releases till the end. Jet Li's League of Gods. It's not particularly a Jet Li movie as such. He is one of the leading actors in it. This movie has been totally shit on. Like, I mean, there's some stunning moments in here, and I can also understand why there's a lot of kind of hate towards it. It's certainly not perfect by any means. I can go back and watch this repeatedly. There is certain scenes and there's certain things about it that really are gripping. It's actually quite visually engrossing, both for both the good and bad reasons, but I do feel that it is a movie that has kind of been overlooked by fans of Jet Li because he's not really the main star. I do enjoy his monk role in it. It's quite fun, but there's a lot to love here, and it is a huge movie. The first from 88 Films was The Master, with this fantastic artwork from Kung Fu Bob, as you can see. Again, I talked about this earlier, a fun movie, really good restoration, thoroughly enjoyed it. But again, to see him have fun, I always love seeing him smile. He's got a great smile, but I feel that this kind of movie works for him really well. The second release, the Jet Li release from them, was this Steelbook Blu-ray edition of The One. And this was friggin' gorgeous. Now, this was probably something I really didn't need to spend the full price on because, of course, like 2 weeks after I did, it came down in price somewhere else. Maybe not on the 88 Films website, but it came down in price. Regardless, I'm glad of the upgrade. I really love this movie. I think it's a fantastic and, as I said, underrated sci-fi action movie. But if you can get your hands on this limited edition Steelbook Blu-ray release from 88 Films, it is absolutely well worth picking up. And then their recent release, and one of which really spurred this video to come on, was The Last Hero in China. This gorgeous piece, restored in HD, with a new artwork by 17th and Oak. Very comic booky in its style, but I like it. The more and more I'm looking at it, the more I like it. So yeah, I really love this. And what I must jump to before I get into that Eureka one there is when I did my unboxing video for this, and you can go back, please, check out my unboxing video for this particular Blu-ray, followed by the retrospective of Last Hero in China. I forgot that I already had it on Blu-ray from Nova Media, which I adored. This was a fantastic release, beautiful piece. Very different in how they're both presented, as you can see here. Very different. But I forgot that I had this when I was doing my unboxing for this and didn't compare. How stupid of me. But they were very similar in what they offered in terms of their HD, although definitely I feel that 88 Films had the upper hand here in terms of its quality. And then the other reason for this video was Eureka's release of Heroes and Villains. Now, I've talked about this through the video quite a few times. This is their recent release this month of 3 Jet Li movies. My Father is a Hero, Dr. Y and Scripture with No Words, and Hitman. All 3 are absolutely stunning. The restorations on each of them, especially My Father is a Hero, that 4K restoration is something else. It really elevates that movie to, I mean, it's just beautiful. Please get your hands on this. If you are a Jet Li fan, you do need to check this out. It is absolutely worth it. And the same goes for Hitman and Dr. Y. I've never enjoyed those movies as much, but seeing them here restored, and with Dr. Y you get 2 versions, the international cut and the Hong Kong cut, so you can compare. But absolutely beautiful. Oh my god, this was such an amazing release. Absolutely. Still fresh out there. Only out, I think, the 20th of November. So well worth picking up if you can get your hands on it there. Okay, the Nova Media releases I adore. I think Nova Media do some beautiful stuff. Really, they release some gorgeous artwork. Really solid O-rings or slipcovers there. The only fault with them is that they never put enough extras on there, if any. Sometimes they don't even put any extras on there. They're not normally restored as such. They have a really nice HD quality about them, but they're never restored. That said, this director's cut of Hero, of the amazing and gorgeous Hero, really blew me away because I hadn't seen an upgrade from that DVD that I showed you, that I shared with you. And this did the trick. Until we get a 4K release, a proper 4K restoration and release, this is my go-to for this particular movie right now. It is totally worth grabbing if you get the chance. Usually around Christmas, New Year, they start to do, Nova Media do like a winter sale. Keep your eye out there and you'll be able to pick these titles up. The other one I love from them was Kung Fu Cult Master. Again, coming out soon from Eureka Video. So I'm saying that this is the time for Jet Li. We've really had as much Jackie Chan as possible. There's still quite a few titles left there, of course. But I feel there's been such an overload with Chan movies that now Jet Li is starting to sort of see the light. And it's all coming out. So Kung Fu Cult Master is coming soon from Eureka. But again, this Blu-ray restoration, I should say a HD restoration from Nova Media, is kind of one of the earlier Blu-rays that really let me see the difference in quality. The ratio was correct, the sharpness, the detail, everything, it blew me away. This is a treasure, and I know that Eureka, when they release their Blu-ray, is going to blow me away even more because their restorations are usually much stronger than what Nova Media are putting out there. Their Black Mask release also from Nova Media. This features Black Mask 1 and 2. Such a beautiful, beautiful release. Comes with some collector's cards there, as you can see. But in here, it is just beautiful. Wow, 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 wow. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Both movies. Some extra features to be had and enjoyed, but not a major amount. But this is definitely one of their better releases in my eyes, and absolutely well worth picking up. Saying that, then I did manage to get my hands on this epic Black Mask release from the Vengeance Pack. This stunning padded media book. This is one of my prized possessions. Very limited, 333 put out there. This is number 174 of 333. And I just think it is one of the most amazing releases ever, especially from the Vengeance Pack. I think this is one of their finest releases. That beautiful text on there, glistening, that artwork is just friggin' stunning. Absolutely stunning. And there's so many versions of the movie on here as far as I can remember. So inside here you can see there's a poster. I'm going to slip that out there. You've got 2 discs here, 2 discs on this side, and then this wonderful media book in between. This is kind of hard to get now. I know they are out there. I have seen them on eBay kicking around. But this for me is totally well worth picking up. Cantonese language options, English language options, English subtitle options, 4 different versions, making of, trailers, music videos, and so much more. So this for me is an absolute gem, and I try to keep it as safe and clean as possible because I really don't want to spend the money on it ever again. Eureka's other release of Jet Li's movies would be this gorgeous Once Upon a Time in China trilogy. Again, they didn't go with parts 4 and 5. Why not? It just didn't make sense, and this really angers me because they did put an extra feature on there of Once Upon a Time in China and America. So totally ignored parts 4 and 5 to sell it as a Jet Li collection, which was unfortunate. I really did love it though. There was a lot in here that was stunning, all the design work, and it actually got a second release not too long after it. It got a second release with new designs, pretty much all the same stuff, but it just was just a case of new design work, and that was all. But it comes with a host of extra features there, also audio commentaries, which is the only thing lacking from this other release from Criterion. Now this I love, another treasured piece for me. Once Upon a Time in China, the whole collection, parts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, Once Upon a Time in China and America, with a host of extra features. I mean, this box set is amazing. I absolutely adore this set. I love what they've done. Don't get me wrong. I love what Eureka have put out there, but this just swiped the floor with it. Just to be able to see parts 4 and 5 for the first time, even though it's not with Jet Li, was just very exciting for me. They all have gorgeous restorations. Some are 4K restorations, some are 2K restorations. And then you have Once Upon a Time in China and America on there, as I said also. But there's a load of extra features, which was just great. The only thing that they didn't have on there was audio commentaries. I think that was the only thing I was really annoyed with that they didn't have on there. But beautifully designed. Really, really, really gorgeously designed. Whoop, let me just try. You can go back and check out the full unboxing. Gorgeous big book in there too. But I mean, come on. Why Eureka couldn't pull this off, I do not know. But this is absolutely one of my all-time favorite releases. And the perfect release pretty much of the Once Upon a Time in China series. The final piece I want to share with you before I get to the magazines is the Shaw Scope Volume 2 collection, which, here we have it. Martial Arts of Shaolin, the Shaolin Temple 3 with Jet Li and Lau Lung. Beautiful artwork here. Again, the movie didn't, even though it's restored here, it didn't blow me away. It still didn't blow me away. I was quite bored with it, if I'm being honest. But you get a couple of versions of it on here. You get the alternate standard version, the unrestored version, and a couple of extra features. The big spread of the book here, as you can see. And this is part of the most amazing part of this box set, is that this booklet comes with it, as it does with the first box. Anyway, that's all the Blu-rays. I could have got stuck into a lot more there and got a bit deeper with you, but I understand that time is of the essence, and I still want to go through the magazines with you just before I wrap this up. So last but not least, it is the collection of magazines I have featuring Jet Li with interviews and movies that he was releasing around that time. They're all kind of around the same period, 2000, 2001. I don't think there's anything sort of under that. This was kind of like his Hollywood period when he was coming through there. Most of them seem to cover Black Mask and The One. So yeah, okay, let's get stuck in. The first one is Inside Kung Fu there, as you can see. Not a magazine I bought many copies of, I have to say, but whenever there was one of my heroes on there on the front cover, or a movie star that I recognize as such, who was doing an interview, I miss printed magazines. I could make this video much longer if I was to get my Impact magazines. They're up there in boxes from 1992, I believe, until they finished. So Jet Li would be in many of those, but that is for a totally different video. This is just like a handful of what was close by that I could grab. But those Impact magazines I will get to someday, and I will share them with you maybe in 2024. But Inside Kung Fu did a great interview here. Page 38, there we go. Yeah, so it's just covering the one. There's a nice sort of behind the scenes shot of Jet on a wire. I can't believe Jet uses wires. I am shocked. But yeah, this, I really like the one. I think there's a lot going for it. I was really excited when Idea Films were releasing it. Jason Statham, I always have enjoyed as well. There's certain film festivals that I've been to in the States where people have been told that I am Jason Statham, which is just ridiculous. And they have went out to the shops and bought Crank or the Transporter and asked me to sign them. And no matter how much I tell them that I'm not Jason Statham, they sneak a selfie with me and I sign their DVD cover, George Clark. And they say, why have you signed it George Clark and not Jason Statham? And I say, well, Jason is my stage name. And that seems to work for them. And then they run off home and tell their folks that they met Jason Statham and got signed. Anyway, the next one is Hong Kong Film Connection. I adored this magazine. This was fantastic. Kind of kicking around from 1993 and covered a host of movies. Now, when did this one come out? Let me see if they have a date on this one. 1997. Wow, okay. So this one is from 1997, which is just fascinating. Let me quickly flick through it with you here because I'm sure you've never, well, some of you may have collected this and seen it, but it'd be nice to kind of, instead of just focus on Jet Li here, who comes up on the first page, of course, sort of go through this whole booklet with you or this whole magazine. I totally miss the days where I could collect as much of this. My husband's not happy because there's still, hundreds of issues of everything kicking around here. You know, they take up a lot of space. And yeah, I understand he's not a collector and I can understand his thoughts as to why do I want to keep this stuff. But there's something special about these. I love reading the interviews. I love reading the reviews. I love reading the stories. And I just miss going out and buying these kinds of magazines. There's a lot of coverage here on many different movies. Wow. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. Wow. I do have a number of issues of Hong Kong Film Connection. I do remember that. There are many others there. Not too much covering of Jet Li in that, but still great to have. And of course he does grace the front cover once again. The next one is Not Suitable for Minors. Special edition number 6 from Eastern Heroes. Look at this. This is a pretty thick magazine. I wish I'd bought more. I wish I'd signed up for more Eastern Heroes. They did cover a vast amount. I just didn't have the money to do so. And even with they've re-released the magazine. They're doing great with this whole new run. I just can't afford to invest in it anymore, unfortunately. And I think if I was to start another collection of magazines, my husband would leave me. But this is great. This covers obviously Jet Li and the Black Mask again, this period of time. And I'm sure there's so much more in here. So let's have a look. God, look at that. Wow, those old ads. Oh my God, this is just fantastic. I have not looked back at this. 1996. Fuck, there's me saying that the most of these are around 2000, 2001. Nope. These are even earlier. Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. This is amazing. Big Boss 2, Legend of the Wolf. Of course, the retitling from Eastern Heroes. Eastern Heroes like to retitle a lot, didn't they? My goodness me. So much more. Rumble in the UK. Top Secret. Gosh, this is just fantastic. Again, this is probably a magazine I haven't looked back for over 20 years. Mr. Nice Guy there. I know we're looking for Jet Li. I'm still flicking through here. He's got to be here for Strike. Forbidden City Cop. My goodness me. Wow, wow, wow. There we go. Jet Li in the UK. Oh, look at him. He's such a baby face. Wow. October 13th, 1996. Jet Li arrives to the UK, courtesy of Eastern Heroes. What a trip. I mean, these are things that just living here in Northern Ireland, I did not get to enjoy. You know, the cost of getting over there at that time would have been extortionate, or I just couldn't have done it. And I feel I've missed out on so much. Always jealous of these lucky buggers that got to go to these events with Donnie Yen, with Jet Li. Look at that black mask coverage. That's gorgeous. Wow, wow, wow. Jackie Chan, of course. I mean, to know how many times my ultimate hero has been here in the UK, and I have totally missed that, has pissed me off to no end. Dr. Y versus Dr. Y. There we go. These are great. I'm going to go back and read all these. I mean, obviously with these recent releases from Eureka, it would be good to look back. Some on Robert Ty. Fist of Legends 2. That was a hoot. Dreadful. Buddhist Fist. Love that movie. Oh, Luchi Lang. Lagar Lung. The late Lagar Lung. My goodness. And Fu Sheng as well. Okay. And then Shanghai Reviews. Look at that. Oh, I miss reading people's reviews. This is silly. I'm making this video longer than it should be. I do apologize. Let's get on to the next one very, very quickly, which is Hong Kong Superstars, the world's #1 Hong Kong movie magazine, volume 2, #1. They've got a website, so this can't be before 2000. Anyway, there we go. Look at this. How cool is this? I mean, just wow. It's very scuffed. I think I had it packed in pretty tight between the magazines. Unfortunately, that's ruined. Issue 1 collector's item damaged to fuck. Okay. Yep, as we roll into the year 2000. There we go. Chris Ducker. Okay, let's quickly look for Jet Li. Black Mask 2 is coming. Wow, wee piece about that there. The wonderful Simon Yam. Johnny To. Isn't it crazy to think how old a lot of these movies actually are? Oh, the gorgeous Billy Chong. I love that man. He was amazing. I mean, that is absolutely, a man who was a kung fu superstar in my eyes. Just wonderful. Drive, awesome. Romeo Must Die. Here we go. Wow. I know I've got other magazines there that cover Romeo Must Die because it was quite a big hit, a massive hit, terrible fight scenes. Like, I don't know, I think Corey Yuen Kwai was being drugged or something when he came up with these ones, but they were just ridiculous for the most part. Gosh, there's not much there, like, that's it. 2 pages, then we got, oh, there's the Evil Cult. That's the one I was talking about from Kung Fu Cult Master on that cheap label. A bit of Bruce. Every magazine had to have a bit of Bruce, of course, it sold. And the Hong Kong hit list, category 3. My goodness me. Well, there we go. Not much Jet Li in that, folks. Unfortunately, Eastern Heroes did quite a better job. And then at the back, the Jet Li UK fan club, fully endorsed by the man himself. Wow. This is one I don't know about, to be honest. I think it was pretty much short-lived. I'm not too sure. Martial Arts Superstars. I think this was an American magazine. Yeah. American magazine. I may have picked up August 2000. Where was I living then? Toronto. So I picked this up in Tower Records in Toronto. Basically covers everyone there. Bruce Lee, Chow Yun-fat, Jet Li, Russell Wong, Dustin Nugent, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and of course the wonderful Jackie Chan in Shanghai Noon. Let me quickly find Jet Li here. And of course a time when most of Hong Kong's biggest stars were heading to Hollywood. Jackie, of course, is already there. Jet's moving in. You've got Chow Yun-fat coming behind. You know, this was like a massive turnaround here. Whenever the handover was happening, a lot of these Hong Kong stars and directors headed out west. Look at this. I mean, I haven't watched Romeo Must Die for 15, 20 years. Maybe I should give it another shot. maybe it'll make me laugh even more, and I'll think that it's just as ridiculous as it was the first time. I think that's pretty much all the coverage of Jet Li in there, but then you have a Russell Wong interview, which also is from Romeo Must Die, as he stars in that, of course. And then we get, yep, there we are, some nice shots with him fighting Jet Li. Okay, then we have, this is quite thick, Wisdom for Body and Mind. Yeah, this was a UK one from 2001, Kung Fu Qigong. Look at this. Jet Li again, gracing the cover of a martial arts magazine. And the most of these magazines were, these types of magazines were dedicated towards martial arts athletes, trainers, fighters, that kind of thing. But they would throw in the odd movie coverage, which obviously they knew would really help sell it there. Let me see if I can jump to the big Jet Li interview. Oh gosh, there's lots here. And then Corey Yun Kwai as well. What? Look at these ads for nunchucks. Here we have it. Meet Corey Yun, also known as Yun Kwai. The inside scoop. Of course, Corey Yun and Jet Li have worked together on countless amounts of movies, putting together the Eastern Films label, or Eastern Films production house, I should say. And the big Jet Li interview. I mean, this is, I mean, I can see what they're doing with that design. Just, it's very awkward looking, very messy. Yeah, they could have done a lot better with that, like, you know. And then there's some videos for sale. My goodness, wow. This is odd looking, but what a, yeah, another great interview to go back and read over one more time. Oh, there's more behind the, after the ad there, there's more. What were the challenging scenes in Kiss of the Dragon? My goodness. Wow, very good. Again, stuff that I will go back to eventually. I think when I get close to retirement, I can just put things down, grab a magazine or grab a book, go back and check these out and enjoy these interviews again, because it's been some time since I've went back and read a lot of these. Okay, so the last piece of this video and the last piece I want to share with you is a rare book that I picked up. I think I ordered it from the back of one of these magazines, perhaps Impact Movie Magazine. It was presented as a rarity and an original guidebook as such to Jet Li's Shaolin Temple, or the Shaolin Temple in general. And this is it here. I know there's probably a load of you out there have got it, but I just thought I'm going to get my hands on this and really keep it as a special piece of martial arts history and of Jet Li's movie, of course. But it covers a lot here of the Shaolin Temple, the history of it, things like that, and different monks from the throughout the years of Shaolin Temple. But it does give Jet Li a piece, if I remember correctly. Let's see if I can find it. Yep, here we have the Shaolin Temple. Oh, there he is, Jet Li, the rising kung fu star. Oh, look, he was very handsome, very cute. I'm sure he's still a very handsome man now, but you know, you can see why he was made a star. Look at that poster in there, that is class. I'll never be ripping that out, obviously. Great wee shot of him in London there. But yes, I mean, he was obviously star quality. You know, from the moves to his looks to his charm, everything about him was pretty much, he was in place to be in the limelight in some description. Very good. Wow. Yeah, this is fantastic. I will get back to this someday soon. Very nice. Okay, so that's everything. My Jet Li collection. Sorry for keeping you back. If you've made it this far, well done you. I know my throat is sore. Your ears are probably sore listening to me talking shite about these movies. I've also no doubt missed something along the way. That's just what happens when you have 4,000 plus movies here in the studio. Although you see all this behind me, there are some over here, some over there, down below there. It's ridiculous. But anyway, thank you so much for sticking about. I hope you enjoyed that. Next time, I think I will do Sammo Hung. I know I had someone asking me to show my Sammo Hung collection. So I will get to that after Christmas. As for now though, thank you once again. Thank you for your support here on Invincible Asia. Until next time, enjoy your Kung Fu, and I will see you soon. So thank you once again for watching another video here on Invincible Asia. Don't forget you can check out hundreds of others here on the channel. You can also show your continued support by heading over to my new merch store or by checking out invincibleasia.com, where you can read my full movie reviews and follow me on Instagram @InvincibleAsia. Until next time though, enjoy your Kung Fu, and I will see you soon.